the week or so, the keyword across the world has been abstain. I know that it is something that we don't use in the world of work frequently, but we all indulge in that quite frequently. Abstaining is something has become part of many of us, and I don't know whether we cause good or bad by doing that. But my sense is we don't do that well when we abstain. But there are various circumstances in which we end up doing that. The first time I possibly was in an influencing position, and a boss presented a strategy, I I wasn't very hopeful about that coming through. So I said what I had in my mind, saying maybe it may not work. But in the break, somebody nudged me and said, "Hey, look, the boss has put a lot of efforts. He possibly wants to hear a yes when it comes up for a presentation with the super boss tomorrow." So the next day when the boss presented, I just played along in a Q&A time. I said nothing because it would have been too much for me to say, oh, this is a great strategy because I had my view on that, nor to criticize because it wasn't right as indicated by my peer group. So if you ask me for the first time, I abstained. And later on, when I told my super boss about it, he said, there's nothing called as abstaining. You're either for it or you're against it. And when you abstain, most likely in the world of work, I read it as you're not for it. So there afterwards in my life, I always thought I am either for it or not for it. So there is no way I keep quiet. That's who I was, throughout my employment career, and likely to be the same in my entrepreneur journey as well. But there are many circumstances where you have to abstain, don't you? I remember when my colleagues in the past have come and said, "Hey, look, I'm presenting this. I want your back." And when they say that, there is no way that you will say, "Hey, look, I won't support you." Especially when you had a drink with the gentleman the previous day and you had a good time, to turn up next day and say, "Hey, look, I'm not going to support you," is not going to work. So even though maybe sometimes we don't like what is getting professionally presented or said, we end up just keeping quiet and supporting the person, though indirectly we possibly may not be in our heart, right? So there may be many decisions like that, whether it is hiring or letting go somebody, or a strategy, a new product design that is getting developed in your organization. Everywhere we abstain by choice. You can't say, "This is who I am. I'm not a person who publicly expresses," but we have opinions when we sit across, on a lunch table or a bar, and all of us have opinions either for or against it. We don't abstain in an informal setting, do we? But I guess organizations are made up of these neutral stances, and I won't say they kill the real expression of the person, but it sort of helps to abstain many times, either to support friends or to quell an enemy, if I can use that word, in an organization setting. So, who are you as a person? Are you somebody who likes to abstain in critical junctures of the organization, or you are always somebody who's for it or against it? Let me know what you think around your stance and your experience of abstaining has been. Thank you for watching.